unofficial Universal Orlando podcast
is a member of the Mice Chat Podcast Network. MicePod.com. Now live the movies and hear the fun.
Greetings, Universal Orlando fans. It's time for the unofficial Universal Orlando podcast.
Well, hello everyone.
And welcome to the unofficial Universal Orlando podcast.
This is episode 35.
I'm Tracy.
I'm Lee.
And I'm Darren. Thanks everybody for joining us again. And sadly, Hunter is not available once again to do the show.
No.
Disney's keeping his hands tied.
Yeah, a lot. Actually, he's just been. He was telling me last week that he was doing very well there, and that he was getting moved over to Liberty Square from Adventureland.
Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, I heard he couldn't type with the big gloves on, so that's why he hasn't gone online much. So
I like it.
Now, before I forget, because you know what my memory's like, just want to let everybody know that we have an upcoming competition. There is a picture of the Facebook page of the prize, which is...
Prizes, but we're
prizes,
splitting them in
we are
half.
splitting them, yes.
They're not going out as a pair.
Shut up!
they're a lovely set, though.
And we don't even know what they are yet. It's a pair of baseballs.
Balls, yes.
Yes, pair of balls. One is Revenge of the Mummy, and the other one is The Amazing Spider-Man. So,
One is blue, one is red.
yeah,
They are pretty cool.
They are really cool.
I don't know whether
and-
I should say who donated them, but thanks anyway. You know you're out.
Yes, and we really didn't want to put them up as a prize. So
Yeah,
you're very,
you guys
very
almost
lucky.
did not get them.
Yeah. So yeah, go and check out the picture on the Facebook page, and stay tuned. And as soon as we work out how, we will let you know what the competition is.
Yep. If you're not on Facebook either, I'll stick them in the show notes.
Yeah,
So
but you'll find out soon enough anyway on here,
yeah, we just need to work out how we're giving them away at the
because we
moment.
want to be really evil.
Yeah.
Lee looks scared.
So anyway, yeah, as we said on the last show, we wanted to get away from having people on a little bit and concentrate some more on us discussing stuff. And if any of you guys out there have got any sort of suggestions or stuff you'd like to hear us talk about, feel free to email us. You know, at the bit.
Universal stuff, people.
Yeah, I'm not politics and that sort of rubbish. I've had enough of that lately. Yeah, stuff
And none
to do
of
with-
that Disney rubbish.
We could go off topic. We could have an off-topic segment. That could
What?
work.
Us?
that.
Off topic? Never.
I like that idea. I know the theme park podcast.
I don't know what he's talking about, Darren, do you?
Off-topic. You're off on it now.
No, never.
But yeah, anyway, any other topics you think we haven't covered? We had a few. People have mentioned the behind-the-scenes tours, which is something we talked about
Yes,
quite
we'd
a
like to
while
do.
ago. Someone suggested a rapid-fire round-table segment, which I quite like the
Yes.
idea of. But yeah, if you've got any suggestions and stuff that you want us to ramble on about for an hour, just drop us an email at podcast@uuopodcast.com.
Yep, and we only have 62 days to go till Halloween Horror Nights, and we've got some news dribbling out about that, and I'm sure the floodgates are just getting ready to open. It'll be a short matter of time because I know they're doing casting and everything, and once that starts, the information usually starts rolling out. So
Yes,
I'm excited.
As I said, a friend of the show at the moment's got her second call back for makeup this year, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yep, as Lee mentioned, emailing us, don't forget to send us your spew stories and your funny schmits and anything else, really, to podcast@uuopodcast.com.
Definitely, yep. You can also head over to our website, which is www.uuopodcast.com. There you'll find Tracy just posted a pretty cool Zeus
Oh, I
thing.
forgot about that. The Zeus film, yeah.
And we have something in the works that hopefully I'm not going to drop it. I was hoping to be able to announce it tonight, but we can't just yet. I'm dangling carrots again, Anna. Sorry, Darren.
That's Lee's middle name. Lee Dangling Carrots Malady.
It's alright, he's lost me as well here.
I'll just say Eric.
Oh, right, yeah.
That hopefully the website will be getting updated a lot more than it does with more relevant things. But yeah, if we go on there, there's currently the news that Darren's going to be talking about in the news about Halloween Horror Nights. There'll be something on there that's there, but I'll put that in the show notes or a link to it or this, that. Anyway,
Vague.
basically, as much as we can get, anything about the resort, head over to the website, it'll be there, plus the show notes from this show.
Anything else we feel like putting in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, and while you're over on that internet computer box machine, you can go over to our Facebook page at facebook.com/unofficial Universal Orlando podcast and give us a like and write a comment.
Glad to say I think we've had at least 5 or 6 in the last week, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some interaction, as I was saying before we recorded, Darren, quite a few people contacted and says those two don't know what they're talking about. Pumpkin juice is lovely.
There's always an exception to the rule.
By all means, give it a shot.
Now, talk about ways of keeping in touch. Don't forget, you can find us on Twitter. We have Lee, who is at UUO Podcast. Myself, at UUOP Tracy, that's Tracey. The lovely Darren, at UUOP Darren. And Hunter, who's never here and never tweets, but he's at Hunter_92.
Oh, Darren, I had a listener actually asked me, because he wanted to contact Darren about Halloween Horror Nights, said, does he use his Twitter much? I went, I'll give you his email address.
Yeah.
Cool.
I try. It does send me little notifications, so if I catch them, I will definitely reply back to you on Twitter, but yeah, I have a hard time with that one.
Everyone, pester him. Get him tweeting.
Oh, leave him alone.
Darren needs some Twitter love. Send Darren Twitter love. Hashtag DUUOP Twitter love. There you go. And in fact, I'm going to do it now. Right. So go on then, you two. What's coming up on this one?
Hey, let's do something totally crazy and start with the news.
Never. Whoa, now that's shaking it up. We will also have the first part of the interview?
Yeah.
The first part
I'm splitting it into two halves.
Oh, he didn't tell me that. The first part of an interview with Seth Kubersky and Jim Hill on the Cinematic Spectacular.
Yep, and then following on from that will be the second part of it. It's split into two halves, so we're splitting it. There'll be the Cinematic Spectacular, and then the second part will be Jim and Seth talking to us about the Superstar Parade.
Of course, you could go completely crazy and do the second part first. Confuse everyone.
I was going to say whether... well, yeah, I don't know whether anybody would know.
Well...
Sorry.
Okay, now on with the news.
And now your news from around the Universal Orlando Resort with your UUOP news team.
Right, so we'll start the news. It'll be me first. So a bit of hotel news to start off with, which is good news, I think. Universal Parks and Resorts and Lowe's Hotels and Resorts have they actually announced it?
Yep.
Yeah, they've announced that they will be building a new hotel development at Universal Orlando even, that will add high-quality, high-value options for families wanting an affordable on-site experience. So far, big thumbs up from me. I like the word affordable.
Oh, it's my favourite word.
Yeah. So Universal's Cabana Bay Beach Resort will offer 2 distinct experiences within the development's multiple buildings. There'll be 900 family suites. Wow. Which will be capable of sleeping 6. They will also include kitchen areas, and then there'll be 900 standard guest rooms, which offer both moderate and value-priced accommodation. Like the other 3, to be operated by the Lowe's Hotel and Resorts, and that's scheduled to open in 2014. So, let's have a look and see what they say about it. So, the description, the theming. So, obviously, they all like the theming over there. So they're trying to evoke the driving vacation so many Americans grew up with. Not like the English ones, hopefully.
They have to drive a bit further than we do.
Yeah. So...
like National Lampoon's Vacation.
Yeah.
I love that film.
Right, so the hotel's going to have a hip vintage look, accented with bold design, dramatic clean lines, bright period colours and touches of neon. Sounds 80s. No. Hang on. The hotel's also going to have 2 themed pool areas, which is always nice. Hopefully one for the kids, one not.
Probably, yeah.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Because much as I like having my kids, I don't like other people's.
We wouldn't use the pool anyway.
Well, I don't know. So, Tom Williams, Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of Universal Parks and Resorts, has given us a quotable quote. Our new hotel will give guests an affordable, incredibly themed on-site hotel experience unlike anything else at our resort. Our new family suites and family value pricing will give our guests on-site options they've never had before. So yeah, the area that they've chosen for it is a 37-acre site, which is rather large, adjacent to Islands of Adventure. So it's just off Hollywood Way and Turkey Lake Road.
I'd say that's bigger. I'm sure the Wizarding World's only 20 acres.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But I don't know how big that area is.
So, so anyone staying there will have the choice of value, pricing, or the higher level of benefits and services that come with staying in the other on-site Universal hotels, the Portofino Bay, the Hard Rock Hotel, and the Royal Pacific. Yeah, so you'll get the early park admission. You're close to Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios. But you won't get the complimentary Universal Express Unlimited access. So that's obviously because it's the value resort.
Mm-hmm.
That's what got people's backs up at the moment. Go on. We haven't got a pricing structure yet. That might completely change people's minds, but it's half the price of the Hard Rock or something like that. It's not going to be, but go on.
So yeah, if you want to see the artist's renderings of the rooms, the lobby and the pool area, as well as the outside entrance to the hotel, head on over to UUOpodcast.com, where we've got them there for your viewing pleasure.
I'll put a link in the show notes page.
Yeah.
Yes, the complimentary Universal Express Pass. The podcast I was listening to today was quite disappointing. It's like, why do you stay on site at Universal? Most people stay to get the Express Pass. That's the only reason that most people stay there. The benefit of getting that Express Pass. What is the benefit from staying on site now, really, when you can go? Like, Darren, when you did your trip report for us, where was it you stayed again?
Holiday Inn across the street from the park.
10 minutes away.
What was that?
Was it about 10 minutes walk? I'm sure you said
10 minutes walk to get to the entrance to City Walk.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're a 10-minute walk, but how, what did it cost you? I seem to remember you'd said it was about $80 a night or something. Not even that, was it?
No, yeah, I got a pretty good deal there, but I had a family member that was working at the chain at the time, so.
Even so, for what you're the Hard Rock at a peak time, you're looking at paying, $320? This is going to be, I would say, at best, half that price. It's not going to be cheap.
No.
You can stay
when you're knocking off that Express Pass, you're knocking off, nearly $100 right there during peak times.
That's comparing the two, they're taught when you stay on site, you get the unlimited access. The Express Pass that's $100 is just one ride per ride.
Right.
You're talking $200 or $300 for the unlimited. I like the idea. You can see, that with everything they've done this year with the parade and the fireworks and all the rest of it, they're really going for that family audience. But like I say, the main reason people seem to, well, put it this way, Tracy, as a family, why are we staying at Universal? A little bit for the podcast, but mainly for that Express Pass.
Well, yeah. Plus, it's a holiday within a holiday.
It's a little bit different from us, but your average holidaymaker who's going to stay on site is there.
Yeah.
Mainly because of the Express Pass benefit.
Yeah, but also I think just being in the resort environment as well is something that a lot of people would like to be able to do. And I know the way things are, even a lot of people from Florida can't stay on site. I've never, been able to actually stay at one of the resorts on site, and I've lived here for going on 18 years. So, I think it's a really cool option to still be able to stay on site and have a more affordable price.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna
do it. And I really like the theme idea of this one. It just sounds really cool to me because I went on a lot of road trips when I was a kid, so that'll probably invoke a lot of those feelings again.
Nostalgia's always good.
Yeah.
The only thing I think that would sort of placate things a little bit is if they give you some sort of deal on the Express Pass then. So rather than saying, right, we're not going to give you it as part of your hotel stay, but we'll give you 50% off or whatever, to give you some sort of, to at least make it more worth your while, and then go, right, well, we're going to charge you X amount to stay in here, plus you've then got to pay full price for your express pass.
But this might be for those families who just want to stay on Universal property for a weekend or something, You're
going to want to go at the parks, and most families are going. They're going to be going at peak times. That's the thing.
Just
they're aimed at
couples
families, I would say, really, because they've got the family suites in it. It's what it.
Yeah.
I'm not pooping.
But I mean, even staying at that Holiday Inn, which is the closest hotel off-site to Universal, the one that I stayed at, it was enough of a walk to make it consider. Yeah, probably not going and running back to the hotel room or anything like that.
Yeah.
It was go to the park for the entire day, and then when we were done, go back to the hotel. There was no, let's go back to the room real quick and grab lunch or something like that. So, I think this still has a place, and I think it still makes sense.
Yeah, I'm not being down on it. It was just what I was listening to brought up some real good points. If you stay on Disney property, you get your extra magic hours. It doesn't matter. Hang on, it doesn't matter whether you're staying in deluxe or DVC or moderate or a value resort, right? You still get the same benefits. You don't even get free parking at the Universal hotels, and I think that's really sort of making me quite angry from where you go. I think that's a liberty that you should get free parking.
Yeah. The new hotel, look at it this way then. The current climate, right? They're just looking... It's a way of getting people to stay on site.
I completely understand.
That's people on site, spending money...
Families, that's what they're aiming
spending
at.
more time in Universal property than going to Disney. I think it's a shrewd move.
They're aiming at that family market, but I think potentially...
It could be a case of not putting in that express pass means they can keep their costs way down. And if people really are only going for that express pass, they'll go to the next level of cost.
Right. And as far as what you said, as far as it goes with Disney, they don't have a... I don't think staying on site, you said you get extra hours.
Yeah, they do
in
extra
the park?
magic hours every day. One park's open an hour early, and another park's open up to 3 hours later than normal. Yeah. So the Magic Kingdom potentially could be open until 2 o'clock in the morning.
So you are going to get that, but I mean, nowhere in there do they offer a kind of thing like the Universal Express Pass, which is, like you said, an incredible value for what it is, being able to go back on unlimited amounts of times to all the rides that you want to go on.
Yeah.
This is very true.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're just stuck with all fast. Well,
and also Disney. I mean, it remains to be seen how affordable this really turns out to be. But I mean, every on-site Disney option is pricey as well.
This is true, yes. Having stayed at a moderate, yes, you're not kidding. Yeah, I suppose. I think it's all speculation at the moment. It wouldn't surprise me if they've put this out there to gauge people's reactions. And if a lot of people, if they, I know Universal aren't that social media savvy, but I've no doubt they'll be keeping an eye on Twitter and whatever is going on. And if people are enough complaining, then they might think, right, can we sort of squeeze an extra $20 a room and then add that express pass? And even if they gave you the normal express pass.
Yeah, and then, but you also got the other thing I was thinking about just now is considering the number of rooms this thing has, 1,800 rooms, including 900 of those being family suites. You gotta also consider the flow of express passes into the park, and when does it not become an express pass anymore?
This is true. That's a very good point. Yeah, when more people in the parks have got express pass than haven't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then you're going to go to the regular line, and even though you've got the express pass, you're going to be, this line's shorter though.
that is I tell you what, Darren, that's a brilliant point. You're right. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
That is a good point. I never considered that at all. Yeah. Because then Express Pass doesn't become the privilege, does it? It becomes
the norm.
Yeah, and it's like you say, the standby line then becomes the Express Pass, and the Express Pass line's the standby line.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And then eventually it turns into Disney, where you just get a timestamp to come back.
Yeah. Well, they used to do that, didn't they? Well, the first time me and Tracy went, Express Pass was free, and it was exactly the same as Fast Pass at Disney. but you could get more than one at any one time because we circumnavigated Islands of Adventure and had about 20 express passes. I've got a picture somewhere of me fanned out with all these express passes. We didn't use half of them.
No.
Well, I could be wrong about it. I think Disney started off by charging for like a fast pass separate, right? Before they started the return ticket times. Like it got so popular that people were just bought so many that they had to switch to the time tickets, and that around that time Universal introduced it and said, hey, let's give this a shot too. And then they said, oh well, we don't have as much volume as Disney has yet for the express, so we can charge for them instead.
Well, Disney's
I think that's kind of how the timeline went as far as that goes.
Yeah. Well, Disney are changing theirs all up now, aren't they, with this? I don't think they've got an official name for it, the X Pass or whatever it's going to be.
Mm-hmm. It's real interesting how they balance that. I'm sure that's a whole crew of people on its own just deciding that kind of thing.
Anyway, yes, I like the idea of it, but I think there's a few reservations there for me at the moment.
I'm sure they're hoping for reservations as well.
And, from what I can gather, was it someone? A friend of ours messaged me, and apparently construction's already begun.
Yeah, they are moving quick over there. I saw a shot the other day of the crane at the Soundstage 44 as well.
Well, we'll get there, won't we?
All right. Universal's Superstar Character Breakfast features some participants from its Superstar Parade, which runs daily, and it's including characters from Hop, Despicable Me, Dora the Explorer, and SpongeBob SquarePants. The meal is served at the La Bamba restaurant within the theme park. The breakfast includes early admission to attractions Despicable Me, Minion Mayhem, which opened this month, and the neighboring Shrek 4D. The character breakfast price is $26.99 for adults, $10.99 for children, and that's in addition to theme park admission. Also available is Universal's Cinematic Spectacular Dining Experiment.
It maybe is an experiment.
Yeah. Let's try that again. Also available is Universal's Cinematic Spectacular Dining Experience at the park's Lombard Seafood Grill. After dinner, guests get a prime reserved area to watch the Lagoon Show Cinematic Spectacular, which celebrates 100 years of Universal filmmaking. The price on that one is $44.99 for adults, $12.99 for children. And that's, again, in addition to the theme park admission. Both dining experiments, I did it again. Both dining experiences were introduced this year to folks staying at Universal Orlando Resort hotels, but they are now open to everyone. Reservations are required, so go over to universalorlando.com and then click on Dining and go to Dining with Characters. After making the online purchase, you must call 407-224-7554 up to 24 hours before arriving to confirm.
Jesus, that sounds like a right pain in the backside, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think they shot themselves in the foot with the breakfast.
Why?
Because I already know. I mean, yes, Despicable Me. Who doesn't want to have breakfast with minions?
I'm sorry, but I'm dragging them too. But what?
But I already know of a few people whose kids are refusing to go because I'm too old for Dora and I'm not going anywhere where Dora the Explorer is. That's been the biggest bugbear. The fact that they're now not doing the Confisco Grill breakfast.
I don't get that. I don't understand why.
Give people the option.
Yeah.
Because they're going to lose families with older kids here. Because of the Dora the Explorer element.
Not even that. I don't understand why you wouldn't have one in each park.
Yeah, certainly.
Well, let's face it. Do we ever see anybody eating over that area? Are they trying to get that area used?
I don't even think I've ever seen Cafe La Bamba open, to be honest.
No.
Mm-mm.
I haven't even seen Carmen's Veranda open. Isn't that next door?
It's just a snack
I know, but it's never been open.
But, I mean, the prices are the same as what we paid. I've just priced it up there for the four of us would cost us.
And you would expect the food would be the same.
Well, it won't have green eggs and ham.
Well, no, but the same standard of fare that we had at the Confisco, which was amazing.
Is it something you would be interested in doing, Darren?
No, not really.
Is it Dora that's putting you off?
No, I'm cool with Dora. It's Hop, actually.
I've never
not seen it, so I can't comment on that one.
No, me either. But Seems like Easter holiday specific kind of property. It's kind of weird to put it year round in the park.
Maybe they're going to have chocolate eggs for breakfast.
That'll be cool. I'm going, definitely.
All right, yeah, I'm there.
I've convinced you now.
Just add a butterbeer and I'm set.
Yeah.
I mean, the cinematic spectacular dining experience has got to be $45 per adult is expensive, especially when the kid's only 13.
And doesn't come with a poncho. It's probably you get
Do we
very
actually
wet
know exactly
there,
where
don't
it
we?
is? Because someone said it was out the back of it.
There's like a big
Like a viewing
terrace.
platform, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's there, and apparently you get rather wet there.
Yeah, that's a two-floor Lombard's restaurant, which I've passed by every time and never even had the inkling to go look at the menu.
No, I think we've looked at the menu, but because I don't
ever remember looking
I
at
don't
it.
do seafood.
That's why we went to Bubba Gump last time we
Yeah,
were
but that's
there.
because they actually did fish.
We'll have to have a look at it, because it says,
I know.
Richter's, just go to Richter's next
I
door and
know.
then stick our eggs
Top
in there.
ourselves at the...
Top ourselves at the fixings
Fixing
bar.
bar.
Jesus, there's a blast from the past. But I'm going to put one out there. If any of the listeners have been and done the breakfast or the cinematic spectacular dining experience, drop us an email. We'd love to hear.
And if you've actually done the Confisco one as well as this new
Compare them,
breakfast, give us a comparison. That'd be great to hear.
The email is podcast@uuopodcast.com. We'd love to hear everyone's opinions, or even Facebook. Go on Facebook page or tweet us or whatever.
You know, your thoughts.
But definitely
If you
love
have-
to.
You know, yeah.
Cool. It's all new options, but yeah, the one thing I don't get is why they've closed one to open the other one. I don't understand why you wouldn't keep both of them open, but it probably comes down to a staffing issue at that point, doesn't it? You're
Money.
employing extra people for characters and stuff, and we don't employ people anymore.
Right, yeah.
Seems to be the way, isn't it? I mean, it'd be
Yeah,
how
it
long
is, sadly.
before all the team members are audio animatronics.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, so go on then. I've got a boring one. I give myself the boring. I suppose it could be interesting. It doesn't give much away. But anyway, Comcast Core, the cable television giant that inherited Universal Studios theme park chain, is said they're pouring several $100 million into refreshing Universal Orlando's original theme park, and let's be honest, it needs it. Mm-hmm. With a slate of new attractions and retail venues opening during the next 3 years, Comcast is betting that it can make Universal Studios Florida as popular and as profitable as its youngest sibling. This tells you what it's all about. The Harry Potter-powered Islands of Adventure.
Oh, I don't like that.
Why?
Much as I love Harry Potter, I hate
You
the
don't
fact that
want
it's
the
like
whole
Harry
park
Potter
based
powers.
on-
No, Islands of
Yeah.
Adventure to me is a very special place, and it's not defined by any one area.
No, Islands of Adventure was brilliant before Harry Potter, but you can't argue with the fact that it has made that park so much busier than it ever has been.
I'll just sit quietly on this soapbox.
Anyway, the first phase culminated with the grand opening of Despicable Me, the Minion Mayhem, a simulator ride and interactive show based on the 2010 animated movie hit Despicable Me, and hopefully in about 2 episodes' time we shall have an in-depth listener review.
Hopefully.
Well, not hopefully, it's sat on my desktop, it just needs putting in.
Hopefully Lee will get round to doing it.
And nothing illustrates Comcast's theme park ambitions better than Universal Studios Florida. Minion Mayhem is just one plank in the plan.
There's enough planks in my life.
Carl grew a plank. Minion Mayhem is just one plank in the plan to refresh the 22-year-old theme park. In addition to the ride, Universal Studios this year has added this quite relevant considering the interview that's going on in this show later on. Anyway, Universal Studios this year has added an afternoon parade starring people that not a lot of people like. An evening fountains and fireworks show that chronicles classic Universal picture films. It has made smaller touch-ups as well, such as building a new lavishly decorated retail location dubbed SpongeBob Store Pants. And more is on the way. Crews last month began demolishing a long vacant soundstage in the heart of the park to make way for the new attraction that is expected to open next year, and please be open before we go.
Oh, we always miss the boat by a couple of weeks.
They've got to have it open for the summer. They've got to have that.
We are
open
going for
for
the end of summer, really.
Yeah, it's got to be open in time for the summer. And although Universal won't say what it plans to build, fan speculation has ranged from a year-round walk through Haunted House to a copy of Universal Studio Hollywood's new Transformers ride. Getting into it a little bit more, it would appear that certain permits that have been posted, I think it was
Yes.
Park Scope, submitted, had pictures of the permits that have been submitted for Soundstage 44, and it would appear that they are for a 2-story building with some sort of elevator system, which pretty much tells you it's going to be Transformers. And a month ago, I would have been like, ugh.
Yep.
Now I'm like,
yeah, can't wait.
But what's concerning a lot of people is the biggest problem that everyone sort of said about Transformers was the fact that it's so similar to Spider-Man. Does this spell the end of Spider-Man? That's what people are saying. Is bringing this there means something's happening over at Marvel.
Well, then people need to make sure that they ride both.
It better be bloody there. If they close Spider-Man, I'll be devastated that I don't get to ride it.
I don't think they will after the amount of money they've just invested in it.
Just
I think it'll be there for at least another
a bit weird
couple of years.
But I mean, we talked about it on the last one, didn't we? About, I mean, Darren, you were quite happy about it. You even talked to Andy, didn't you, on the Trip Report about the House of Horrors?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought that would be cool, but I mean, I can definitely see it making a lot more sense for them to do Transformers.
But it seems like
it's a much bigger property.
Yeah,
yeah, especially with the 4th film
and family friendly
as well. I think kids are going to love it.
Yeah,
I think
just in a haunted house, where you couldn't really take little kids to a haunted house. You're limited your audience.
When you look at everything they're doing, it's family oriented. The kids are going to love Transformers.
Yeah, although I am a parent would take my child through a haunted house.
I would. Well, we're going to, aren't we? We'll go to Edinburgh. We're going to drag Jade through the
dungeons.
Dungeons, yeah,
and leave her there.
But yeah. It's good. It's good that we've said that Universal for a long time, I think even since we started the podcast, it desperately needs something doing to it. It's good that they're finally pumping that money into it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep, right. Moving on, I've just got to lean over because for some reason my laptop's not showing this up properly. I think
it's whatever I've saved it out in.
It's Lee's fault. Always Lee's fault. So it's a Velvet Sessions again. So this one is the last Thursday of July, which is the 26th. And the Hard Rock's Hotel lobby concert will host the Atlanta Rhythm section, whose biggest hits include So Into You, Champagne Jam, Imaginary Lover, and Spooky. Now,
Darren, have you heard of the Atlanta Rhythm section?
Excuse me. Thank you. Nice story. Yes. Darren, are you aware of the Atlanta Rhythm section?
Yes, I have heard of them. They're like classic rock band.
I'd never heard of them until I started researching them.
Lee, have you heard of the Atlantic Rhythm section?
No, I have now. I know one song, Spooky, but that was because it was a Dusty Springfield song.
Yeah.
I know the name, but don't know them.
They sound pretty...
It's
pretty good. Go and see them.
Yes, behave yourself. So the start time is 6:30pm. You can purchase your tickets online and receive early entry at 6pm. Not really too early. But
it's half an hour. It's early, isn't it?
Well, yes. So your tickets are $29 online or $35 at the door, which includes specialty drinks and finger foods from 6:30pm onwards until showtime. So from 6:30pm until showtime, there will be live music. Well, I would hope so. You are going to see a band. And cash bars from showtime onward and valet parking. So after the show, our guests can hang out in the Velvet Bar, or their guests can hang out in the Velvet Bar, where the DJ plays tunes until 1am. So you can also get a VIP ticket, which is $50 online only. That will include access to special viewing area with a private bar, plus all the benefits of the regular Velvet Sessions tickets. So head over to velvetsessions.com for tickets and more info. So, there you go.
One listener to messages on Facebook or Twitter or email us who's gone to one of these things. So whether they're any good or not.
Yeah, I haven't been to one. I haven't had any of my friends go either. So it seems like one of the ones I like come around there a lot more. They cost a lot more money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one you get VIP for $50. That's pretty affordable.
That's because you've never heard of them. Oh, you have, but you wouldn't be bothered with it.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll leave it there. And go on to my favorite thing. It's time for HHN Halloween Horror Nights. Now, Universal has not confirmed this, but it does appear that they have a Walking Dead house going on, and the barn is nearing completion. We've got a bunch of shots up online that people have taken through the construction walls there. And we've also seen the RV from Walking Dead as well hanging around near where the barn is. So it looks to be a Walking Dead house for sure, at least Ori a facsimile of it, but
Actually, I'm going to jump in there, Darren. I think you need to rephrase that, because you might have seen the RV from The Walking Dead, but I haven't.
Oh, you haven't?
No?
Oh, pictures have been posted online of the RV near the barn area. It's sitting in the disaster queue staging area.
Oh my god, I'm so jealous that we are not getting to go this year. I love The Walking Dead.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely great series, and of course they're gonna be able to do awesome things with that in the house.
Yeah.
Especially if they do it. I mean, it looks to be in the disaster staging queue area, and if they can set that up, I mean, with make it look like you're outside but inside at the same time.
Yeah.
They have a lot of options to do there, especially with the barn being built, and that's if you have seen the series, that's a pretty intense scene. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Why am I excited about something I'm not even going to get to go to?
Because we get to see it vicariously through me.
That's it. Following the recording of the show, Universal announced on Wednesday and confirmed that the Walking Dead house will be part of Halloween Horror Nights 2012.
Yep. And one house we can confirm that is coming is a house based on the Konami video game series Silent Hill. Universal made the announcement that the house will be part of this year's Halloween Horror Nights in Orlando and Hollywood at San Diego Comic-Con. You can head over to UUOpodcast.com and find the article we posted, which includes the video that Universal put out on the day of the announcement. So stay tuned to the podcast. We'll bring you more information on this year's event and where we hear it. Definitely. So what do you think about Silent Hill then, Darren? Oh, I'm definitely excited for that. I love the video games. They had such a great sense of atmosphere in them. Yeah. I mean, it was just so unsettling. I think that was their main. Resident Evil had like the shock value to it, but Silent Hill just had that disturbing, unsettling feeling, and I really hope they can bring that to the park. Definitely. I always remember playing the first game where you have the torch and you go into school, and I think there's them weird little moley things, wasn't there, with the big claws? Mm-hmm.
I've forgotten about that.
You walk into a corridor and you can't see literally anything but what's in your torch light, but you can hear.
See, I'm such.
Wait, where the hell's it coming from?
I am such a girl. I can't play these games, but I love to watch Lee playing them. But I can't because I get really scared.
It was really, really good. I think that's genius putting that in. I really do.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Definitely. And the sound, like you said, the sound is huge in the game, so I hope they bring that over to it. Like all those whispers that you hear and the scraping of the huge sword that the Pyramid Head carries around.
And who knows, this could be the start of a new trend in the Halloween Horror Nights with having video game themes.
There's a lot of video,
good.
survival horror stuff. Resident Evil, just zombies, so that's a difficult one. But you've got stuff like Dead Space. I've not played it, but that's one that seems that could work quite well. Oh yeah, that's an amazing game. Yeah, with the space atmosphere and everything going on, they could do awesome things with that. Yeah, because we were talking about it, Tracy and I, the other night, saying, what can they do that's different now? Because it's like you're 22 years in now. How do you keep moving something forward? Yeah, exactly. I'd be interested to see this year. Well, obviously, with Soundstage 44 coming down, they've now lost a haunted house. That's definite now, because that was one of the permits filed for Halloween Horror Nights was for Soundstage 44, and now that's gone. But what I've heard is that apparently they're sticking with 7 rather than adding another one in, but they're going to concentrate more on the scare zones. Yeah, that's what I heard too. Just the overall atmosphere, keeping everything consistent in the park, because that was a problem last year. I think too much space between the scare zones. I was just going to bring that up. I remember from doing the review with you last year that the one thing you said, it was there wasn't much else other than the houses, and the scare zones were quite small and wasn't a lot else.
Yeah. I felt way too safe there last year. In other words, like I want to be fearing for my life the whole time.
Yeah. You want that heart rate to be up the whole time, and
yeah. You want your 1 or 2 safe spots where you know nobody's going to mess with you, and that's it. Everywhere else in the park is fair game.
You see, if that was me, I really think they should put things into the toilet so you're not even safe in there.
Not necessarily people in there, just noises. You can put a speaker in there and have somebody sat in a room just
not
shouting
watching
stuff every now and again. Well, no, you don't need to watch.
I was saying not watching, so you can interact with it. That would be wrong.
I always remember they do like a Halloween event at Port Aventura. Do you remember that, Tracy? The year they put the camera in, there was like a booth walking through like a wood bit, and you could pick the image that the people they stuck the head in this like a shed, and you chose the image that showed on the screen, like just flashed. That was pretty cool. Something like that would be quite good. But then,
well, yeah, and but with the rumors of The Walking Dead, very strong rumors of The Walking Dead, and then Silent Hill both being licensed houses, it looks like the rumor that we had heard previously about all the houses being licensed this year, at least a good majority of the houses being licensed, might be the case.
Yeah, well, that's 2 out of 5, is it? 2 out of 7, sorry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, certainly, and I think, I mean, if I were Universal, I would bring over some of the hit ones that have gone over in Hollywood over the past few years, like House of a Thousand Corpses. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm so hoping they do House of a Thousand Corpses. That will make my life, I will tell you. That Walking Dead and Silent Hill all together in 1 year, I might just die.
Cool. It does. So far, it's shaping up to be pretty cool.
Definitely.
Certainly is.
All right, well, that's news this week. If you hear of any news we missed or would be interested in, email us at podcast@uuopodcast.com.
In a world where the skies are clouded with ADRs, park ticket, and hotel bookings, one hero stands like a beacon of light in the darkness. Heather at BR Guest Destinations. She can book all of your Universal Orlando vacation needs, and her service is free to you. And if you're staying on Disney property for some reason, she can also book Universal tickets that include transportation. How awesome is that? She's also an authorized Disney vacation planner, as well as being able to book all cruise lines. So if you're planning on battling Megatron alongside Optimus Prime at the new Transformers ride, or having a Duff Brew in the new Springfield area, or planning even further ahead to visit Harry Potter in Diagon Alley next year, contact Heather at 1-800-796-6240 or via email at heather@destinationsinflorida.com today. And don't forget to tell her that you're repping the UUOP. We now return you to your regularly scheduled programming.
Hello fans, my name is Mike Aiello. I'm the writer and show director for Universal's cinematic spectacular 100 Years of Movie Memories. That's what you can see behind me. It's just a small taste of what is going to be featured in this amazing Lagoon show. Now I, like most of you guys out there, have grown up with the films of Universal. And we actually worked with Universal Pictures to collaborate with us to decide what we were going to include. From minions to monsters to romance and battles, this show offers something for every movie fan. You're going to see fountains shooting 100 feet in the air, light flowing above your heads, pyrotechnics in the sky. We invite you to come on out and experience Universal's cinematic spectacular 100 Years of Movie Memories.
Following on from Lou and Andrew's trip report, we thought we'd discuss the cinematic spectacular a bit more, as well as new Superstar Parade.
As you know, Tracy and I haven't seen it, and Hunter's defected down the road. We won't say too much about that for now. And Darren hasn't been yet, so we thought we'd invite some guests on to give us a more journalistic view of it.
First of all, we'd like to welcome back on the show the author of the Universal Orlando 2012, The Ultimate Guide to the Ultimate Theme Park Adventure, Seth Kubersky. Hi,
Thank
Seth.
you. Hi, Lee. Hi, Tracy.
Seth.
Hi. And then we'd like to welcome onto the show for what I think is the fourth time.
I think it is the fourth time, yeah.
Yep, fourth time. The man who knows everything there is to know about theme parks, Jim Hill. Hi, Jim.
Wow, you guys have really lowered your standards. So, you know, they say the third time's the charm. The fourth time is just annoying. You know?
Hey, we're not up to the level of the fanboys yet, though.
Ah, this is true. Okay, well, just next time, just keep the back door locked, and I won't get in.
So anyway, now Jim, we know that you got to speak to. You went to the media preview, didn't you? Of the Cinematic Spectacular, you got to speak to Mike Aiello as well as Laura Wallace. So before we let loose on that, we'd get both your opinions of it, and Seth, who obviously Jim said before we started recording would know a little bit more about it. So Seth, so far, what are your opinions of having seen the Cinematic Spectacular?
The Spectacular, I've only seen it about half a dozen times now, including the media night that Jim and I were both at. I enjoy it. I think it's a big improvement over the 360 show that they had before. Similar sort of tribute to the movies. If you enjoy the clip packages in the Oscar show every year, you'll enjoy this. The screen technology is brilliant. The fountains are beautiful, but there's not quite enough of them. And the pyrotechnics are probably the best pyrotechnics that Universal has ever put up. Unfortunately, if you compare it apples to apples with one of Disney's nighttime spectaculars, it's still not quite the e-ticket attraction, but I think it's a good step forward for Universal.
Do you think a lot of that has to do with the fact of where Universal is compared? You know, the Disney parks are encased in their own 43 square mile thing, whereas Universal still, as far as I know, isn't it very close to the Dr. Phillips area? Am I wrong?
You've got literally a high school across the street. Yeah. You have residential neighbors who don't enjoy having fallout raining down on their backyards, setting fire to things. So yes, Universal is under very tight restrictions over how much and what kind of pyro they can use. So within their limitations, this is by far the best that they've done. But if you go expecting a Phantasmic or a Wishes or a Illuminations, you're going to be let down by the scale of it. If you take it for what it is, I think it's a pretty satisfying end to an evening at Universal.
Yeah, I think Jim will probably know the same. That it seems to be from a lot of Disney fans, they're basically saying they've ripped off World of Color.
You know, I think that they kind of invited that by releasing concept art that looked very clearly like World of Color, and they've both got fountains. They've both got mist screens. They're doing different things. You know, the fountains are here at Universal just an accent, whereas in California Adventure, the fountains are the focus. The fountains that they have are very well used. It just isn't on the same scale as that. So if you go expecting to see a World of Color with Universal movies, you're going to be let down. But if you go expecting to see a very nice tribute to the film with some pyrotechnics and fountains as accents, then you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I mean, the closest that we've got to see it so far, Ricky Briganti over Inside the Magic posted a video, actually. I do believe you were stood next to him at the time.
Yes, I was standing right behind him and Banks Lee. And he got a pretty good video, and there's some other good videos up on YouTube. I will say, though, that seeing it on video does not quite compare. For one, you know, the video can't really capture the richness and the sharpness of these screens that they have. They're waterfall screens that are much clearer than any of the mist screens that you might be used to from Phantasmic. And it's also neat because you can be standing on either side of the lagoon, and the image looks correct. It isn't flipped, mirrored from the wrong side.
Very clever.
Yeah, very clever.
Do you think it's sort of hampered itself a little bit? Like, you look at something like Phantasmic, I suppose Illuminations doesn't suffer from it as much, but because they've tried to put it along the whole lagoon, you think you've got Phantasmic and Wishes. It has one focal point.
I can see what you're saying, though. You know, you go out to Phantasmic in in California, and you can see it from a pretty wide stretch along the rivers of America. Here in Orlando, it's a custom-built stadium, and I actually think the show doesn't work quite as well in that environment.
Right.
I think that there are enough areas around the Universal Lagoon where you can get a good view, and I've seen it from a different location each time, and I find it interesting the way, if you stand in one place, say the Central Park area on the east side of the park, you get kind of a surround sound effect with fountains curving around you. Whereas if you are down at the Battery Park, you get kind of a more proscenium effect with everything stretched out in front of you. So I think that is good and works much more effectively than the balls in the 360 show, because with those, if you were standing in the wrong spot, you would see half of a movie. And it was pretty much unworkable, and you wouldn't know if you were standing in a good spot until it started. Whereas now it's a lot easier to tell where the good locations are.
Right, that's good. So go on then, Jim. What do you reckon to it?
To be honest, I really, really enjoyed this show. I mean, in fact, I would make the comparison that this, in a weird sort of way, is Universal's Disney moment, in that a lot of people walked into the show with a perception of, this is Universal, this is the studio that does horror films, this is the studio that does summer blockbusters like Back to the Future, that sort of thing. You didn't go into it thinking they were going to be warm, huggy moments, that they were going to be moments that you teared up. And I think at the end of this thing, that was the surprise of you had Mike Aiello, who isn't a film professional, but is a real film fan and knows the Universal Library inside and out, and was able to go through 100 years of film and pull together this show that really does give you an entertaining look at the length and breadth of what Universal Studios has done over the past 100 years, and with some really fun juxtapositions and so the fountains are not World of Color, but they do some really funny, clever sort of commenting on what's going on screen. I mean, for example, at the moment that Jaws appears on screen, the fountains actually form, a shark fin shape. Or when there's a piece of Psycho footage, suddenly you get, the knife shape coming up out of the water. I mean, and for the fireworks, so it's not extravagant, but it's commenting on the show. It's sort of like, you don't beat up the maraschino cherry because it's on the top of the sundae. It's still a sundae, it's not a pineapple, it's a cherry. So with the fireworks, I mean, could there be more? Of course there could be more. But it's honestly a great little show, which again, as a film fan, I was kind of floored by. In fact, that's when Seth makes the comparison to the this is not what it's called, but the highlight reel at the Academy Awards. When showing all the people who passed away that year. Yeah, this is in a lot of ways like that. You find yourself unexpectedly welling up with emotion, or laughing at stuff, or remembering that. It's like, oh yeah, Universal made Harvey with Jimmy Stewart, and oh yeah, Universal released Mallrats. Just that there's a lot of kind of happy little surprises that come out of this show. But and you actually, given that you worked with Mike, I mean, this is a guy who actually started as an hourly at Universal.
Well, wasn't he a Jaws skipper at one point?
Yeah, he was a Jaws skipper around the same time that I was pushing a button in the Ghostbusters control room. And we never worked in the same venue at the same time, I don't think, but we crossed paths repeatedly for years. And we were friendly, and he and his wife both were active in the local theater community. So we've always kept in touch, and it's really amazing, to see how he has climbed that ladder, and what a good job Universal has done of cultivating talent from within. Because I remember we were both fans of the Bill and Ted Halloween show that they do every year back when it was being written by Michael Roddy, who is gone from Universal now, has gone on to do theme park engineering for other companies, and Jason Sorrell, who's now an Imagineer. And we were fans of the show, and then a few years later, he got the chance to write it, and now he's a big wig with Halloween, and all the special events like this.
I know.
So yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Sorry, no, go on, Jim.
Oh no. Just actually a quick update here. That I love how incestuous the theme park world is, because Michael Roddy is now at Disney. He's actually
back at Disney now. Yeah,
yes,
he's back at Disney.
He's been working on Star Wars weekends, hasn't he?
And not only that, he's working on entertainment for Shanghai. So this is a guy who, and of course the funny thing is, of course, that the semi-permeable membrane works the other way. You have Mike West, who all these years worked at Disney and who did the Simpsons ride, and now has done some amazing stuff for Despicable Me, Minion Madness. But I can't talk about that yet. Well, another show. So
we interviewed Michael Roddy last year as part of one of our Halloween shows, and he spoke very highly of Mike ILO, because they worked obviously a lot on Halloween Horror Nights when he was there.
Well, I think that's what's interesting about Universal is compared to Disney with the cadre of Imagineers. The Universal creative team is really small, but hyper dedicated. And again, Mike talked about working on the show being a vampire for months, because of course you can't do a nighttime lagoon show unless you're actually out there at night by the lagoon watching how things work. And this, the very thing you guys were talking about, this had some unique challenges, because this venue, this lagoon, was never built for a nighttime show. In fact, trying to figure out where to position the 3 different sets of screens so the most people could experience this thing. That of course was made somewhat easier by again the technology that Seth was talking about. That I'm just well enough versed not to understand how this works, but they explain that it's like, well, you understand a drop of water is a curved surface, which means it has 2 sides, so you can project an image on either side, and it's like, that's just, again, my Maynard High School education is like, but water is translucent, right? Light goes through water. So. And
that's the part that amazed me, because if you look carefully, you'll see that the image is projected straight through the screen and onto the buildings behind it, which makes for some neat effects.
That's
an
excellent
you can't
point.
see it from standing on the other side. I don't know how it works.
Yeah, but in fact, that's what Seth's talking about. In fact, if you can see this thing from the edge of the lagoon nearest to, I guess, New York Street, he's right. There's great parts of the show that sort of bubble off the screen and are projected onto the buildings in San Francisco. And it really, again, it's a show that so the entertainment sort of, goes further than expected.
Right.
Now, Jim, if you'd like to share with us what Mike and Laura told you about the spectacular, please.
Again, this is a guy who, face it, the last show, the Cinerama, what was it called?
Cinesphere 360, wasn't it?
The 360 Cinesphere,
yeah.
Spectacular. Cinesphere. That's probably trademarked. I just owe them a quarter.
And, this was put together by John Landis, who, oh God, forgive me for telling tales out of school, but evidently was a huge pain in the ass. All right, just,
You didn't need to tell me that. I'm a huge John Landis fan. I don't need to know that.
So am I. The American Werewolf and Parent. Hell, I love his cameo in 1941. That's
you saw 1941.
I am one of the only people. In fact, I do joke from 1940. Look, a baby wolf. It's just, I love that movie. But no, that he and the weird thing of it is you think a director who clearly loves film the way, and if you watch his movies, this is a guy who loves movies. And it's just, but he wasn't evidently the right guy for a theme park show, or the technology for this 360 wasn't really where they wanted it to be, which is why, again, people constantly beat on the Universal Lagoon shows like, well, it's not Fantasmic, it's not Illuminations. And so here's Mike. Here's a guy who's not a director, but he's a theme park professional. He's worked on 15, 16 years at this point. More to the point, he knows the Universal Library backwards and forwards. So he begins to try to put together the show and create a framing device for it. And in fact, that's actually what's kind of cool about it, is they start off with all of the prep footage from Apollo 13, and we're going to the moon, and just understanding that would then mean that the end point of the show, because think about it, the iconic moment from Universal Pictures is Elliot and E.T. flying across the moon, and that so he bookended his show deliberately that way.
What's interesting is that a lot of the clips and the films referenced are the same from the current version. Obviously, it was updated for movies that came out in the last few years versus the old show. But I think what Mike did so well is putting them all into a context. Whereas in the old show, you would just have this barrage of images that didn't really seem to relate and had vague thematic movements, but you didn't really know what you were looking at. By adding Morgan Freeman as a narrator and bracketing each section of clips, it brings the audience through it emotionally a lot better. And he gives some of these clips, whereas they were 2-3 seconds before, lets them breathe a little bit more, so you have time to identify the movie and remember the emotions that are associated with it, as opposed to it just being a visual MTV montage.
Absolutely. And in fact, but the other thing I found fascinating is he decided, okay, if we're doing Universal, we're doing all of Universal. So this is one of these things where it's like, this isn't in a lot of ways a theme park show. You're sitting there and it's like, there's Brokeback Mountain and the Life and Times of Harvey Milk. And, in fact, the fact that he made a point of, there are two significant portions of this thing that are To Kill a Mockingbird. Where, it gets, if you're doing a theme park show, of course you're going to do Back to the Future, and of course you're going to do Animal House and that sort of thing. But the fact that he figured out how to make this work, that, in a way that really you come away with an appreciation of, wow, Universal's done some great films over its time. But at the same time, there's just some great silliness to this.
The Minion section's brilliant.
Yeah. But at the same time, it's Mike himself will admit he's a good corporate citizen. It's just sort of like, you look at the quote. For example, we're sitting there watching this thing in early May. And so here are the clips for Battleship and Snow White and the Huntsman. So it's like,
those will be portal hits. They will be remembered for all time.
Yeah, that's it exactly. But I get it. I get why he did that. Okay, that's one of the ways you fund these sort of things, and that's the other thing. He actually, he went into the archive and he convinced the people that they had to re-render all of this material in high def. And the fact that Universal got on board with that, like, okay, for the Lagoon Show for Orlando, all right, we'll do that. And I don't know. I really, again, I know people know me from the writing I do about Disney and theme parks and crap like that, but I'm a huge film fan. And, I love the history of the various studios out west, and Universal has one of the most amazing histories. In fact, I love the whole Carl Laemmle, honestly, Carl Laemmle had the first theme park. That he was looking at trying to monetize, all the land he bought out for Universal City, and the whole notion of charging people a nickel to come in the door and sit in the stands and watch a silent film be made. And then
don't forget the box lunch.
No, that's the thing. In fact, my favorite part of it is this is the guy who invented go out to the gift shop. And in his case, it's, because they had chicken ranches on the place, the gift shop was full of eggs. So it's like you walk on your way out and it's like, honey, I saw a movie made today and we can have an omelet. No, this is a fun studio that way. And I think the guy did such an amazing job to pull this together, and the fact that they figured out how to present this on that ridiculous dog leg of a lagoon that they have out there.
Yeah.
I mean, face it, that thing was built for a stunt show that ran for 45 minutes, the Miami Vice thing, and.
I missed the Dynamite Night Stunt Spectacular with the speedboat jumping through the oil rig in the middle.
There you go.
I got a soft spot for that. It was like Mel Brooks. It was theater in the square. No one had a good seat. It didn't matter where you were standing. You couldn't have the show.
So true. That's so true.
I mean, it seems to be from going back onto something I think it was Seth brought up. No, it was anyway of using Morgan Freeman as the narrator to get that, like you said, that emotional response.
Come on, you can't go wrong with God.
Exactly.
In fact, that was Mike told this great story about when he was working on the show, and it's like, oh, by the way, we got Morgan Freeman to narrate the thing. It's like, oh crap! It's like, now I got to make it good. I mean, if you got the voice of God, people have certain expectations. So it's like,
yeah.
But no, it is not Phantasmic. It is not Illuminations, but it's a damn fine theme park show. And more to the point, it's part of Universal's new strategy. This is the kiss goodnight that you actually have to stay to see.
Now, didn't they actually use that term as well?
Well, yes. Yeah, and but that's and anybody who works in theme parks, I mean, Disney has been talking about the kiss goodnight forever. I mean, look, the entire theme park world is incestuous. I remember, what is it? The Universal. What did Universal used to call the guests so it was different from Disney?
Oh, I don't remember.
But they used to have. I mean, well, no, that was the thing. It was one point where it's like, we're different from Disney. We don't have guests. We have not customers.
I do remember having cast member drilled out of me. A team member, not cast member.
There you go. And it just sort of, so it's a very small incestuous world, as is proved by the Michael Roddy, Mike West thing. So, but so the fact that they're using the term kiss goodnight, to be honest, they're using it for the exact same thing that Disney is doing. That they want you to linger. If there's a 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, lagoon show, well, that means you can't go out and buy dinner at the ale house. You have to stay inside the park. You have to shop. That's sort of kind of the same reason that the parade runs at 5 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon. It's like, well, you can't leave. The parade's about to happen. And these are all plays out of the Disney. All tricks out of the Disney playbook, and it's kind of interesting to see Universal taking them and using them but at the same time distinctly making them their own.
I mean, we're going to get on. Sorry, go on, Seth.
Oh, I'd say by that logic, though, as good as the Universal evening show is, I wouldn't say that it's going to draw people who wouldn't otherwise go to the park the way World of Color has out in California Adventure. I think it would be very effective at keeping people to buy more souvenirs and buy a second meal. But I don't know that by itself. We just saw the attendance report come out, and Universal, even though Islands of Adventure took a 30% jump, the park next door was nearly flat. So I don't know if this is enough to start pulling people over who wouldn't go otherwise.
Well, but sadly, you and I both know that changes with Diagon Alley. So
no, that's their magic bullet. That is their killer app.
I mean, the segment before we did this, we'd done a trip report with two of our friends, and Andrew. He saw this, and he said one of the things he saw it when it was on a soft opening, not the official once it had started, and so I don't know whether it's changed, but he said one of the things that he found really strange that while the Cinematic Spectacular was on, all the food places were closed, or even up to sort of 15 minutes beforehand, which I find very strange, because that to me is get something to eat, go and watch the show.
Unless it's because it was just previews.
Maybe.
That's what I'm thinking, that no need to pay people.
Right now, the show is running every night at 9 o'clock as the park closes. So basically, everything shuts down So no, you can't go and buy food while the show's going on because everything is closed and they're kicking people out in the street. Because, in addition to keeping people there, it's also there to get them out of the queues for the rides so that they can shut everything down quickly and sweep everyone out as soon as it's over. But there should still be some food and they want you there to spend money.
Yeah.
So there should still be places.
That's why he found it strange. You think you go to Illuminations or... Well, any of those, I can't even think of them off the top of my head at the moment. And, you go to Phantasmic and they're basically wandering up and down with buckets of crap.
Now, it's interesting you say that because I'm literally looking here. I got this sent to me by a Universal cast member. It says starting on June 1st, they're going to begin offering a cinematic dining experience at Lombard's Landing.
Yes, I think we reported that on the show a couple of weeks ago.
Okay. Yeah. But the idea is that you would have a private area there. Well, but again, to come to think of it, obviously you have to finish eating to get outside to actually watch this thing. I don't know if they're actually pulling the crab cocktail out of your mouth and throwing you outside. But
the interesting thing with that is that they're having that. It'll be like a dessert buffet, from what I understand. You eat dinner inside, and then you get dessert outside on the patio. Nice. But I watched the show from one night, and there was a steady but not gale force wind blowing in that direction, and the fountains are so close to that location, and the patio is so shallow that I was completely soaked from head to toe within seconds.
And if you've paid, I think they're talking about $45 to go and eat in there, and you're going to come out soaked, you're not going to be happy, are you?
They're going to have to watch the weather reports very carefully.
Oh, dear. Okay.
Everyone out there is getting wet. We'll see how that works out.
Okay. Well, again, I mean, they're going to hopefully they can finesse that. But again, just face it, there is a learning curve with these things. I mean, I'll tell you from, I was there for the first night of World of Color. For the press opening, and I was on the press riser. In fact, I had the greatest seat in the house. I was up, like 20 feet in the air in the corner, and I had the show dead center. But what happened was that they announced they're going to start the show, and that here comes Lassiter, and he's sitting down front, and here comes Terry Hatcher in a skin-tight, teeny-tiny dress, and they sit her down front, and literally, they decide, okay, we're going to start off with a little fireworks show and a little light show, and then we're going to do a World of Color. And what actually happened with the Seth, help me out here. Is it called the thermals? What is the marine inversion? There's this weird thing that happens in California, Southern California, that at like 9 or 10 o'clock at night, literally the temperature in the water drops. And the air comes rushing in off of the ocean because of the temperature drop. And so, now remember, this is World of Color. They're shooting the fireworks off of the roller coaster tracks for the California Screaming. And the wind changes as this is going on. So all of the smoke from the low-level fireworks now comes into the bowl. And now they start the show. And the wind is blowing, and so now this precisely focused digital projector is now shooting out into this lagoon full of smoke. All right. So, and the focal length is 5 feet deep into the smoke. So, the first night of the show, it's a Rorschach test. All right. You're looking out into the smoke like, okay, could be Dumbo, possibly Toy Story, don't know. But again, the wind has really kicked up since the person in the booth has hammered the button. All right. And so now here are these 100-foot tall, spirals of water that is supposed to be shot up, so it's crucial moments of the show. And I literally watched this happen, from where I was on the press riser. One of them comes down straight into, the celebrities are right down front. So, bang, 100 feet of water down on top of the celebrities. The lights come up. First of all, it looked like they'd killed Richard Sherman. All right. He's one of those guys of a certain age who is that specially put together comb over, and the water destroyed this. Okay. On the other hand, Terry Hatcher, you can see everything now. All right. suddenly the post show is very interesting, and I've never seen plaids move that fast with Miss Asher, you need a coat or a blanket or a drop cloth, something, But to give him credit, the light comes up, and here's Lassiter and his entire family. He's got his kids, his wife, and he's just roaring because he's soaked to the skin. All right, but it's just like, this is the funniest damn thing that ever happened to me. It's just like, it's like, never mind the Disney attractions, you may get wet. It's like, she'll put up a sign for the show, you may drown. But it's just like the whole notion of, everybody has operational issues when a show first opens. So the fact that particular location, they're charging people $44 to get wet, it's like, we need to work on that. That's probably not a good idea. So,
yeah.
Yeah, very cool.
Yes. Shall we move on to the Superstar Parade?
Hi, everybody. I'm Laura Wallace, show director for the Universal Orlando Entertainment Department. I am so excited to give you a first look at the Universal Superstar Parade. It has state-of-the-art technology, larger-than-life floats, and hundreds of energetic dancers. This parade features your favorite characters from Despicable Me, like Gru, his 3 little girls, and his arch-nemesis Vector. There's SpongeBob, Dora and Boots, and Diego and Baby Jaguar. You'll also see E.B. from the hit movie Hop with all of his friends. This parade features beautiful silk performances, tumbling, flipping monkeys, and acrobatic pogo stick artists. This is so much more than a parade. It's a full day of singing and dancing. Come see the all-new entertainment that the Universal Superstar Parade has in store for you and your entire family.
It's like Universal, I think, find themselves in quite a good position, because what they're doing now is they've always aimed themselves at an older audience, and what they're trying to do now is sort of bring the families in a little bit more with, obviously, I think the cinematic spectacle to a certain extent, and the parade that we're going to talk about in a minute is definitely aimed more at the younger audience, and I think it's easier for Universal to try and bring in that family market than Disney would find to bring in the older audience.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's kind of where that's where Marvel comes in a big way. But of course, you can't use Marvel in Florida, so
yet.
Yeah, yet.
Yeah, no, you're right that Universal has always kind of positioned it as the older teen, young adult focused attraction versus Disney's more. They had that whole "if I have to kiss another princess, I'll puke" campaign a few years ago, and so it is interesting to see them kind of turn around saying, "Hey, we have our own cartoon characters. Remember SpongeBob? You guys like that Despicable Me guy? Well, here's some more of them." Yeah. So it is interesting them using those characters to bring more people in. As far as the parade itself goes, I'm not a huge parade fan myself. I'm especially not a fan of parades that do show stops, where they stop and perform for an extended period of time.
I'm with you on that one.
I think that the floats are beautifully designed, absolutely gorgeous designs of the floats, and the choreography is cute. My only real problem with the parade is I found the music very repetitive, downbeat, grating. What other negative adjectives? I'm not sure if the night they had it for the press was the final music, because it sounded like a scratch temporary track to me. I didn't enjoy the music, but other than that, I think it's a solid effort. What did you think, Jim?
I guess it's a good criticism to say that it's short. It's one of the. Because again, it's only 4 floats. There are 4 floats and supporting vehicles. And I guess the old show business adage of leaving people wanting more. I will say the first night I got to see it on the night that it soft opened. It was literally the first performance of the public. Were you there for that one, Seth? You did.
No, I missed that.
The center. Because they put us in the, again, the interesting thing about doing the press thing is sometimes you end up in the equivalent of a veal pen. They literally created this, it was 6 feet by maybe 12 or 15 feet portion, and we're all crammed in there. And the problem is that the SpongeBob float rolls up and stops directly in front of us. So we can see SpongeBob, and we have a great shot at SpongeBob, but we can't see any of the other floats. And this is sort of the whole point of the dance break is you can look out and see the spectacle of it. And the SpongeBob people were really kicking ass, and they were doing in fact, they do a silk bit off the back of the float where they have a woman twirling. That's very impressive. But again, for 4 minutes of staring at like someone who lives in a pineapple under the sea, you kind of want to vary the view. On the other hand, the night of the actual premiere, the press event, as Seth will tell you, it's the heavens open.
Yeah,
all
Hunter
right?
was there that night. We actually phoned him. He was in the parks that night and the night after. We actually rang him in the parks and recorded with him, and he said it absolutely tipped it down.
Oh yeah, it was. Seriously, they're selecting 2 of each reporter to get on the ark. But the interesting thing is because it rained, they had to sort of invert the event. They were supposed to start off with the parade and then end with the cinematic spectacular, and they actually ended up showing the spectacular first, and we didn't do the parade till like 10 o'clock at night. And honestly, a lot of people wandered away from the event. So now, it's just myself and the people I brought are standing curbside, and we're, we have room. We can go anywhere. We can look anything. And to see it that way, in fact, that's kind of one of the other ironies of this thing is this parade looked wonderful at night, and it's never supposed to run at night.
Yes, Hunter said that actually. He said
it's a shame because it's all very nicely lit, and it
absolutely
got some great pictures. But it's only going to run at 5 o'clock every day.
Yeah, so it's almost being performed with one arm played on its back, but. And talking with Lori about the show, she said, look, realistically, there are 2 ways to view this thing. You can, involving the show break, you can either do it on New York Street, where you can actually, supposedly, because of the wide sidewalks and the great straight, street there, you can take in the breadth of the show. You can look at it and see all of the dancing that's going on at each of the individual units. Or if you want individual character experiences, you can do it down in Hollywood, which is smaller, tighter, but literally the characters are getting in your face. I have to admit, though, that, and again, I have not been down to the park. In fact, they were starting this program the day after I left, and I'm wondering if Seth, you've actually gotten to the park to see this. But they were then talking about during the day, literally rolling these floats out.
And you know what? I would recommend. They during the day. Sorry to cut you off. It's in the show. It's even in the show schedule now. Each of the floats once a day goes out by itself, separate from the rest of the parade. They do a version of the dance that they do in the parade. They do a meet and greet. It's highly interactive with the kids. And I'd actually say if you're there because your kid wants to see SpongeBob or Hop or whoever. See the parade, but make sure you see that character earlier in the day, and you might even give the parade a miss, because I think that the floats and the costumes and the interactivity is more interesting in that environment than it is in the parade itself.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that they're doing that, like the split-offs, if you like, because sorry, Jim, was it yourself who just said the parade's 5 o'clock? To be honest, when you've got kids who are going to be wanting to see the characters at that age, so you're talking 2 to 4 year old, they're going to be wanting to be back to the hotel for at least a nap or to be eating something. That's a bit late for that age group, I think.
Yeah, and I
think the mother coming out.
They start as early as 11 in the morning.
Right, that's good to hear.
Every hour or so, they bring a different one out. So I think that was a really smart idea, because you're right, a lot of kids. The 3 o'clock parade is late enough over at Disney. A lot of kids conk out as soon as that's over.
That's it. I wonder then if that's why the parade there's only 4 parade floats, because the attention span of a little one is so short. Perhaps.
Oh, I'm just pure speculation that it might be a matter of quality over quantity. When you see the Mardi Gras parade, they do much longer parade, much greater number of floats. The quality is not it looks like paper mache. It's well done in that Mardi Gras style, but these are Disney quality floats with all the doodads and effects. And I think 4 might have been all the budget could hold.
Maybe.
But that said, I am fascinated by the notion of rolling these floats out and using them as basically stages, set pieces, because again, that's anti-Disney. I mean, Disney, that's the whole notion of the parade floats are kept in the barn backstage. They only come out to do this thing. Yeah, I mean, the whole dance break, play moment thing, that's been occurring since Party Gras back in the in mid 80s or thereabouts. Mm-hmm. But even then, the floats are kept backstage. They're not out in the park as a standalone for 20, 30, 40 minutes at a time. And
it's interesting that you say that, though, because in recent years, Disney has been getting away from that during special events. On Leap Year Day, they pulled out the 3 o'clock parade floats, set them up around the hub, and used them as stage for DJs. So, they're starting to violate their own rule on that. Yeah.
That's absolutely. But at the same time, the whole... what is it? One More Disney Day thing. I mean, they had thought the crowd that was showing up was mostly the annual pass holders or the Disney diehards, and give them something special to see. Where this is Universal every day now, and in fact, what's kind of interesting is that I was talking with Jim Timone, the guy who's in charge of entertainment, and he literally, and was just talking about. So when you do that, the weird thing is the parade literally becomes the victory lap for these characters. And he sort of got wide-eyed and turned to one of the publicists and, can we put that in a release? It was like, it's like, oh, that's how we're going to describe it. It's a victory lap. So,
they don't have their own PR staff to come up with clever names?
They have a very clever staff, but just again, you sometimes it helps to have someone come in to do some additional shoveling.
Yeah.
So but anyway, no, it's I don't know. I think, and in fact, what's kind of interesting is when you look at Hop and you look at Despicable Me, what's interesting about those two is those are actually Universal properties. That in the case of both Dora the Explorer and Diego and SpongeBob, they had to license these. And in fact, Lori was talking about how, when they were going to select these, what they're going to build a parade around, it's like, okay, so we know, we're skewing this younger. We need, Dora has, in fact, Mike Yellow told this great story about, for the soft opening, that he has a very young daughter. And, just when the Dora float came around the corner, she lost her mind. I just was like, it's Dora! And just ripping hair out of her own head. Like, oh my God! And it's like, you forget as somebody who works in entertainment, the impact these characters can have on your own children. It's like, well, yeah, I know Dora. She's a 16-year-old girl in an outfit. But, for you, she's Dora! Yeah. So, but yeah, the fact that Universal now has its own characters to put into this parade and it doesn't have to pay for them, that's significant. And in fact, I was kind of surprised, given that Pop made this thing, that we didn't see a Lorax float. But from what I understand,
I would kill to see a Lorax float.
Well, I guess the polite thing to say is watch this space. Don't
say that while I'm taking a drink and I choke with excitement then.
Okay. The theory is that, given how successful this is, that they will bump it out a float per year or 2 floats per year. I mean, the variable here, of course, is the problem with the Lorax is that's a Seuss character, and they have Seuss Landing, and should it go there instead? And now do you address the Lorax area that you've had as part of Seuss Landing since it opened in '99? And there's a lot of spinning plates involved with that decision.
I just say spread the love.
Well, But, the weird thing of it is these theme park people take that sort of issue very seriously about where characters live. In fact, I remember talking with a Disney executive who was very sincere about talking about how, for example, the strategy when it comes to Walt Disney World is that when you introduce a character, they make their debut at the studio because they're in a new movie. And, this is the park that celebrates the movies. Mm-hmm. But then at some point, that 18 months, year, that sort of thing, when the movie has gone through its entire retail life, that it's been released theatrically, it's the DVDs out there, it's done pay-per-view, now that character, if they're popular enough, then goes to live at the Magic Kingdom. And then from there are individual decisions made about, is it an animal? Okay, we can do something at the Animal Kingdom. Is there some sort of international tie? Okay, they can turn up at Epcot. But it's like there's literally this strategy in place. And I don't know if Universal takes it quite that seriously. But yeah, the in regard to characters and where they belong, these theme park people parse that very closely.
Yeah,
I think it's a little different for Universal, where Disney, they own their own characters or they buy other people's, whereas Universal has to license them. And I think Audrey Geisel probably has a lot of say in terms of what they can do and not do with the Seuss character.
Yeah, I think she does.
Where the Lorax is concerned.
Which is how it should be, really.
I think Universal lives in fear of of upsetting one of their very particular and expensive licensees, whereas as Disney, once they get their hands on a property, they make sure that no one can tell them what to do with it.
Yeah.
As the children and grandchildren of A.A.
Milne. Exactly.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I say, like you said, I think the hop thing's a bit of a weird one.
Well, it's more to the effect of, Universal is betting on hop. Okay, now you have to understand that from an American retail point of view, that in fact the people at Universal will tell you flat out that what's coming up fast to pass Christmas as the holiday that Americans spend the most money on is Halloween, which is why, every time you turn around, Universal's, Halloween Horror Night seems to be adding another night. I mean, I think at this point it's starting on St. Patrick's Day, isn't it? I mean, just sort of.
No, it's been going on for.
Schoenberg, boo! It's like, so, that they're looking to extend there, but coming up fast behind it on spending is Easter. And the notion of, look, we have a film that's built around Easter, and I'm betting that this character will be a perennial because, let's face facts, how many Easter movies are there? I mean, you can't build a theme park attraction around the Ten Commandments. Just sort of,
Charlton Heston, animatronic.
What am I talking about? Actually, the old studio tour at Universal Hollywood actually used to.
Party in the Red Sea?
Party in the Red Seas, just. But yeah, they're betting, the long-term bet there is that, okay, because there aren't a whole lot of Easter films, that this will, kids will, because multiple viewings of the character of EB, that they'll connect with this character. I mean, but I have to admit, it was kind of sad at the press event, that it ended about 10:30, and they were having the individual characters dance in the street, and so then it had like the SpongeBob characters dancing in the street, and people could get the picture taken, and there were the Hop characters dancing, and then on the other side was Despicable Me, and it was kind of sad to watch how people were, oh, Patrick, SpongeBob, I want to have my picture taken, and like, oh, Despicable Me characters, I want to have, and they'd literally step around the Hop people, and you could see them sort of leaning and like, come on, have your picture taken with me, please,
Sad bunny. Oh,
sad bunny.
Did you say you got a chance to talk to Mike and Laura about this as well, Jim?
Yeah, I mean, it's again, they're very proud of what they've done, but even Mike and Laura will tell you flat out that they recognize that this isn't necessarily quote unquote a home run. This is a Universal they have a definite strategy in mind. They are plugging holes in their entertainment lineup. These are singles, these are doubles. Whether it's a parade that makes you linger, that you have to stay till 5 o'clock, or there's again, these things using these parade floats as backdrops that then you get this amazing photograph, but you have to go to Universal's photo place to buy it. the dining package for Cinemagic or the show itself. These are all parts of filling out the Universal menu. Same thing with the mini golf course. That's just the notion of, can we get another hour out of you? Can we get you to extend your vacation by another hour?
Yeah.
And with each of these added to the lineup, it's that much more time that you're not climbing in the car and going back to Disney.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And and as Seth was saying, that once Diagon Alley comes up over the hill and gets going, that's when it gets really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It now becomes how long. It doesn't become, well, should I go to Universal? It becomes, well, how much time should I spend in Universal this trip?
Yeah.
And Disney always looks at this as to, not necessarily, how is Universal doing? It's like, how much money did we lose because they're at Universal? So,
yeah, well, you see, Walt Disney World was essentially flat this year. And Universal basically took almost all of the increase in attendance that all of North America saw. So, that's not thrilling them. Unfortunately, Universal's got, what we say, about 3 years at least until the Harry Potter expansion comes online. I think you're going to see Japan first and then Hollywood before Orlando opens, most likely.
It's funny you say that. Someone's just messaged me on Twitter with apparently the permits that they reckoned for the Hogwarts Express.
Really?
Project 7717 and 3641 both reference stations. North Station and South Station. And then a connector.
There you go. I mean, that's, can't reveal sources, but I, at this point, had multiple conversations about disaster going away, and that being, the sort of King's Cross Station terminus for what they want to do. Yeah. But again, please understand that though they are pulling permits and looking at these things, this
mean anything really, does it?
No, and more to the point, there's a lot of moving parts for this. For example, if what they're saying is true about what they're doing the Hogwarts Express, at least on the island side, it means that the terminus would be right about where the stunt show is. And, again, suddenly you're into issues of, okay, well, how much of Lost Continent are you going to keep? I mean, I would not be
surprised to see everything beyond the bridge. Keep just the Greek-themed section, the Atlantis-themed section with the restaurant and the one attraction, and then everything that from that underpass in the Arabian section to go away.
There's not a lot there, really, is there?
Not anymore.
Oh, no, but there's an enormous amount of land. And in fact, that's supposedly where, between the Shrieking Shack walkthrough and the Whomping Willow Spinner, coupled with the fact that supposedly once you move the Hogwarts Express, they're going to walk the wall or the border of Hogwarts Village out at least 100 feet, so they can, at least. But again, the interesting thing is there's still that level of terror, as much as Universal is just reveling in the amount of money that's pouring in related to Harry Potter. There's still that level of terror of, like, is this the year that the Potter fan community that it starts to fade, that it starts to go, and particularly when you look at what they're doing in Hollywood, where they're, honestly, what they're planning on building there, you'll be conceivably be able to see Hogwarts Castle while standing on Hollywood Boulevard. That's how they want to build a full-size castle. And then, put the dining hall in there and the attraction and Lord knows how many gift jobs. But this is, but at the same time, what gets kind of interesting about this is, again, it's what Seth was saying, that you pay big dough to license these things. And if you're agreeing for so much money going out the door for rights and that sort of thing, you're hoping and praying that as you're pouring concrete and raising steel, that your audience isn't wandering away. And, let's face it, no one's losing, Harry Potter fans to John Carter, but who knows if there's another franchise that's going to come over the hill. So when you talk about Universal, they don't make decisions in a vacuum. Neither does Disney. That it's one of these things. These guys are insanely competitive. In fact, supposedly there was this great moment when Disney bought Marvel, and the Disney lawyers discovered that as part of the deal for acquiring Marvel is the language that was in the deal that made them, they had info on how many people were going to Universal and how many, what the retail sales were. And the NBC Universal attorneys couldn't move fast enough to firewall that information. And Disney, to its credit, didn't press the issue. They okay, fine, put that behind a firewall. But again, these guys pay attention to what each of them are doing. And, trust me, if Disney knew now what, Harry Potter would become, that whole collaboration with J.K., back in 2006 would have gone a very different way.
I'm quite sure.
I'm going back on that, and there's something I was going to say. It's funny, I remember when you came on before, Jim, you explained how the contract with J.K. Rowling worked, and it was like a weird sort of, wasn't it, two 5-year contracts with, I can't remember exactly what it was now.
Yeah, they have. It's a relatively short-term contract with options to extend, but the options to extend only last for 20 years, I believe, and then after that, it's kind of a question mark. That's the way I read the contract.
So that's exactly. Just over 2 years now. Is that from? See, what's that 5 years? Is it from when they first start to build it? Is it from when it opens?
My understanding it's
2007.
What is it? Yeah, but my understanding is that the way the language is written from the opening, it's not from the start of construction, it's the opening day that the clock starts ticking. Right. But my understanding is that, look, the Japanese thing, the Hollywood thing, these are enacting certain clauses within the original deal, but they did have to go back and renegotiate because, when you're talking about building a diagon alley and potentially connecting these things, that's there. To put that much steel and concrete in the ground, you can't be in a situation where JK goes, I changed my mind, pull it out. Just sort of like,
So anyway, I see some drag race going on in the background now. As always, it's a pleasure to have both of you on. As always, we've gone on like 60 tangents, but it's always good fun. Right.
Sorry.
Hey, Jim, don't apologise. No. It's brilliant.
Jim, we always enjoy the journey with you. Honestly, we do.
I'm just happy to be along for the ride.
As always. So, yeah.
Next time, I promise I'll take my Ritalin, okay?
Please don't. Please don't. So if any of our listeners have seen either of the shows and want to share their opinions of them, you can get in touch with us by emailing us at podcast@uuopodcast.com. So I'd just like to say thank you very much for joining us again, Seth.
Thank you so much. My pleasure. And you can find me at SethKubersky.com.
Excellent.
Definitely.
Make sure you check him out.
Yep.
And also a big thanks to Jim. It's a pleasure to have you on again, as always.
No, it's great fun, guys. And I don't know, you can find me lurking around parking lots. It's really very sad. So.
Or at jimhillmedia.com, I'm sure.
Yes.
Yeah, that too.
So it's been...
Actually, I'm going to push something. Any of our listeners, go and check out the Touring Plans Disney Dish with Jim Hill episodes. Is it 7 or 8 or 8 or 9, Jim?
Oh, I think we're up to 11 at this point. And at least 3 or...
The two specific ones I'm talking about.
Oh, yes.
The relevant ones to us, yes.
Yes, we did the Universal ones, and in fact, the nice thing is Len actually wants to start doubling back on parks, and particularly for Universal, I think the history there is just so rich, and the stories just go miles deep. I'd be happy to go back and talk about that park. And Islands too is great fun. There's story upon story upon story, and the fact that they haven't thrown me out for telling them says a lot about Universal. It's like, again, they have incredibly low standards too. So, all right. But no, this was great fun, guys. Thanks again for inviting me on, and again, it was so nice to have adult supervision with Seth here.
All right, back to your corner.
Brilliant.
So, there we go.
So it's been an absolute pleasure to have the pair of you on, and we look forward to the next time you
Yes,
join
I know
us.
a lot of our listeners always look forward to having Jim and Seth on.
Yeah, very
And I've just
popular.
actually had somebody tweet me and said, "Is this potentially the best podcast ever?"
Potentially.
I think we can tweet back, yes.
Well, yeah, okay. Sure. Again, just if you're somewhat impaired, yeah, it's a great one.
On that note, then, we shall say farewell. Thanks for coming on. Take care, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye. Well, that's the end of the show, the end of episode 35. So I just want to say thanks for listening. It's been a pleasure as always. And if you've got any suggestions for show topics, don't forget to email us at
Pub quiz hard shot.
podcast at UUO podcast. I don't know.
Why did you stop?
Podcast at UUOpodcast.com.
Jesus.
Is that it?
Yes.
Ta-da! I paid
Doesn't even
attention.
know our email address. I suppose you don't email it. So.
Exactly.
Yeah. I know what it is, though.
Oh,
It's like not knowing your phone number.
I do
have
know.
no idea
I know
what
my
my
mobile numbers.
number is because I never ring it. As I said at the beginning of the show, keep listening. We might next one or possibly the one after for the baseballs.
Depending how nice we're feeling.
They are cool.
Mm-hmm.
They are very, very cool. So yeah, well, I would say over the next two. We might even give one away next time and one after that.
We
Do
might,
that way.
if they're good. Yeah. So I guess that's about it then. Next show will be out on the 3rd of August. So I guess that wraps things up. You guys did all right, but don't give up your day jobs. Say cheese. See you later.
What the hell was that?
Just felt like mixing it up a bit.
I always get hard ones to follow. I just end up going, see ya.
Yep, and good night, Internet.
Well, that just about does it for another unofficial Universal Orlando podcast. We'd love for you to get in touch. So follow us all on Twitter at UUO Podcast, at UUOP Tracy, at UUOP Darren, and at UUOP Eric. Like our Facebook page at facebook.com/unofficial Universal Podcast. Follow us on Instagram by searching UUO Podcast, and subscribe to our YouTube page at youtube.com/UUO Podcast. Don't miss a show by subscribing to us on iTunes, and while you're there, please leave us a review. Not an Apple user? No problem. Just find the show at uuopodcast.libsyn.com and subscribe to the feed while you're there. Send us your spews, funny schmits, live reports, and any other comments at podcast@uuopodcast.com. And come find us on the forums and say hello at our partner site, micechat.com. So thanks for listening, and until next time, remember, live the adventure.
This has been a MicePod.com presentation.
Nice chat.